3 weeks before my anniversary vacation, I found myself at my desk, pretending to focus on my screen while the entire office silently judged me. Whispers filled the air, and people who once joked with me avoided eye contact, some looking at me as though I had done something cruel. It was all because I refused to give up my approved vacation. I'm 34 years old, working at a mid-sized marketing firm where time off is treated like a rare commodity. Time off isn't taken lightly here. It's planned months ahead, and you pray your request gets approved. My husband Daniel and I had done everything right. We'd been married for 8 years. Years spent saving, sacrificing dreams, and dealing with work deadlines, family obligations, and bills. We had been planning this anniversary trip for months. We booked an adventure we'd dreamed of for years, and I submitted my vacation request 8 months in advance, which was approved immediately. Then came Natasha. She was a coworker, always talking about her kids and how tough her life was. It started with little comments about how unfair it was that parents didn't get priority for time off. Then she asked me directly to give up my vacation slot. I said no. That should have been the end of it, but it wasn't. It became the beginning of weeks of guilt, pressure, manipulation, and lies, so elaborate that they eventually destroyed Natasha's career. The whispers in the office grew louder. Natasha's pressure became more blatant, with people judging me openly. One day, during lunch, Mark casually said, "You could be more flexible with your time off, Alyssa. It's just a few days, right?" Every time I tried to explain this trip wasn't just a vacation, it was years in the making. Everyone acted like I was the villain. Should I compromise? But then I began collecting evidence. I had saved Natasha's emails, the ones where she suggested I change my plans, and even an email she sent to HR asking for flexibility when her vacation wasn't approved. I knew I wasn't in the wrong. Then, during a team meeting, Natasha mentioned how her family emergency was keeping her from visiting her sick mother in Florida, but just 2 days ago, she hadn't mentioned her mother at all. I spoke up. "Is that the same mother you've mentioned before, the one who's already been taken care of?" The room fell silent. Natasha's face faltered, and for the first time, I saw a crack in her narrative. The next day, I sent all the evidence to HR. I wasn't trying to get her fired. I just wasn't going to let her manipulate me any longer. The following morning, Natasha walked into the office, and the air was thick with tension. She went straight into my manager's office, where she stayed for over an hour. When she emerged, her face was pale, and the atmosphere had shifted. That afternoon, I received an email from HR. Subject: unauthorized absence. Disciplinary action in progress. It was quiet, without fanfare. The consequences had begun. People began to distance themselves from her. There were no apologies, just awkward glances and halted conversations. But it wasn't satisfaction I felt. It was exhaustion. Being right didn't erase what I'd gone through. Natasha was gone within the week. Her absence was noticeable, but there was no celebration. The office was quieter, but not peaceful. And then, just as things seemed to settle, HR called me into a meeting. They said they were reviewing the case and that my actions, standing up for myself, had created friction. They didn't punish me, but implied that I had made things too personal. In other words, I'd fought back. I didn't know where that left me. The story didn't end with closure or Natasha humbly acknowledging her mistakes. It ended with me standing still, waiting as everything else spun around me.